Okay, for articles I about have now we have our school, Adams is a federalist, which means he believes in more national government power. He believes we should have a better relationship with Great Britain with France. Uh, During his presidency, there's only a couple things you really need to be aware of. One of those is the XYZ affair. So remember, this is when American diplomats go to France. They're going to try to go to the French diplomats. When we get there, French diplomats are going to pay us this bribe in order for us to actually get anything done for these negotiations. Yeah. Yeah. So the American diplomats are like, oh, we're not trying. They, they got on American or French they on and the Democrats are now the Democratic Republicans are we should negotiate with. So this has to what's called the quasi, where we're in this time period where it's like we could fighting against France anymore. Um, the British and French ships for for America. This divide between the federalists and the Democrat Republicans is getting worse and worse. To the point where people are um, targeting Republicans. The ones that are passed is the Alien Act. What this does is it makes it extends the amount of time that in the United States before you can apply for your citizenship. So don't like this because French citizens could come into the U.S. voters vote for Democrat Republicans. This is limiting. They also like this the more important. Yeah, you can't be writing bad things or making fun of the government, which is against the whole freedom of speech, freedom of press thing. But probably not hold up. But there are many Democratic Republican journalists who are put in prison because of it. So, what's the reaction of past series of resolution? Essentially, they pass these resolutions saying if you believe the idea that so a veto a so that as we're turning into the of that. Okay, let's get the election of 1800, which is going to be the peaceful transition of power from one party to the opposite party. That itself is very unique. If Jefferson leaves, it doesn't mean the Federalists are going to be all happy about it. To issue a series of midnight judges. They're going to create these federal judge positions right before John Adams' presidency is over. And the terms are for life. They're putting in a bunch of federal judges into the court system. They're going to influence our courts for the next 30. Well, this leads us to the court case Marbury versus Madison. Marbury versus now, the actual is real. It is the proof of concept, the actual first time where we have a judicial review. The Supreme Court has said, a clause is something unconstitutional. So this whole idea of being able needs to be able to say clause unconstitutional. That's something that only the Supreme Court can claim something is unconstitutional and throw it out. Perfect. Okay. Let's see. Jefferson is going to get rid of a bunch of things. The excise tax. Remember that was a tax on specific goods like whiskey. He's going to shrink the army. But one thing he doesn't like, but also doesn't get rid of, is the bank. He does not get rid of the bank, even though he doesn't like it. Jefferson has a very strict construction, a very narrow interpretation of the Constitution. Meaning, he thinks the government can only do what the Constitution says it can do. Only what it says. We're going to follow the letter of the law. The Constitution doesn't actually give the right to do it. The government's not going to do it. However, like politicians eventually do, when something that he really wants, but doesn't necessarily follow his principle, he's going to set his own rules. And it's going to be remember, France is trying to pay for all of their wars in Europe. They're trying to raise money. America goes and buys a purchase $15 million. This bend, there's nothing in the Constitution that says the president can go and buy a whole bunch of land. He just doesn't have it. Pass on to Addison. And the big thing we need to know from Addison is of the parties. Is Madison a Federalist or Democratic Republican? That means they're most for French. So while their president, our relationship with big things that lead us with trade. So it's called investment. Okay, they're sailors. And the second thing is territory. There's still British troops in America, which could have been resolved after the Revolutionary War. That is the United States to the left. That Jay's Treaty in the 1990s that British troops people peace. And now it's 50 years later, and there's still British troops in America. And so that's what leads us. It's kind of divided votes. Mostly of Congress, them look at federals are most still is the plan for how we can gain power. The federals get together at the like, how can we get power? They say things like, let's take a rule where you can't have two presidents from the states, from Virginia and another president from Virginia. Or a president can only be president from one. Okay, they're making all these rules, and basically, none of it comes true, which shows the ineffectiveness of the Federalist Party. They're not able to get anything done. Because of that ineffectiveness, people will leave the party and they'll basically say, I'm not going to do this. And they'll be touch on the party themselves or join them. Like Republicans will be one party rule, when in reality there's kind of wings of the party that come from like questions so far. This leads us to Monroe. What party is he? It's like Federalist dying, so that means Republican. And really there's only two things we need to know during his presidency. Era of good feeling. Okay. This idea that supposedly with only one party in power, that would be yeah, like 4 on the uh, go to James Monroe. But if you look at it deeper, next time, feeling is Monroe Doctrine. Monroe Doctrine say. Monroe Doctrine. Couldn't. Okay, Europe should stay in Europe. Stay out of the Americas. Now, does Europe listen? No, they still have like involvement in Canada. So, like, they're the company still American involvement there. And the Monroe Doctrine will be used as evidence by behavior looks as very and adds condition. Okay. Tomorrow, everybody, I'll be talking about nationalism, sectionalism, talking about things like Missouri Compromise. I'll talk about the last battle of this war, the Battle of New Orleans. Talk about Jackson. Like, any questions before we finish up for today?